has one of the most recognizable faces and one of the most unforgettable looks in bowling. The pro with a fro, Kyle Troup. Today, Troup is the top seed at the PBA Jonesboro Open. But his list of potential opponents in the championship match couldn't be any tougher. Five-time Player of the Year, Belmonte. Who made a just rule a perfect game on TV, Tommy Jones. Triple Crown winner, Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. And the number 2 seed here today, A.J. Johnson. Troup's got the style, but does he have the game to get the win here in Arkansas? The answer coming up next. From the Hijinks Family Entertainment Center in Jonesboro, Arkansas, it is time for the third event of the 2020 Go Bowling PBA Tour season. The Jonesboro Open. 5 of the world's best, we mean world's best bowlers, are about to take center stage competing for a tour title, big prize money, and valuable positioning for the PBA playoffs. What a field we have today in Arkansas. 2 Hall of Famers and best friends, Chris Barnes and Tommy Jones, face each other for a second time in 3 weeks on TV. Jones won the first time en route to his 20th career title. 5-time Player of the Year, 11-time Major Champ Jason Belmonte, the 3 seed. Youngster A.J. Johnson awaits as number 2, looking for his first career PBA Tour title. Top seed is the colorful, the charismatic Kyle Troup. Welcome, bowling fans to Jonesboro. Great to have with us Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson, my Hall of Fame broadcast partner. Kimberly Pressler joins us throughout the broadcast as well. And RP, what a way to start the month of February in the Go Bowling PBA Tour. Standard event today, then 3 majors. And man, we've got some superstars on our show today. First 2 matches, titans of the sport. But I know you're watching the number 1 seed today, Kyle Troup. Is this his day to break out?
Hey, Dave, it's loud in here. And that's a great question. All eyes are going to be on Kyle Troup. He's the most flamboyant, colorful showman the tour has. And you know that saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Well, Kyle's dad, Guppy Troup, was that guy back in the 70s and 80s. There was nobody more colorful than Guppy. Oh, by the way, Guppy won 8 times on this tour. But I think today is Kyle's biggest day as a professional. I think today he makes a statement and he takes his career to the next level. And oh, by the way, I think he's going to be using a little bit of this in the title match.
Kimberly is joined by the pro with a fro.
Thanks, guys. So, Kyle, every time we see you, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're having a great time, but you were the number 1 seed. You were 1 win away from another title. So how fierce of a competitor are you really?
Well, you best believe, Kimberly, I'm going to do me. I'm going to have fun, like my father always said. Put on a show for the crowd, but if anybody doesn't think I'm a fierce competitor, they got something else coming.
You want to comment on the colors you're wearing today?
Yeah, after the tragic loss of such a heroic sports icon in Kobe, I really felt myself and the PBA, just want to show the honor, and we love Kobe as well, and live on, Mamba.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Let's take a look at our oil pattern again. 3 weeks in a row, the dual oil pattern, Viper 36 feet on the right. The players are going to throw it towards the edge. Some of the players will go much straighter from the outside part of the lane. The left lane is going to be the tricky of the 2 lanes. The shark pattern at 48 feet. Don't get it right a second arrow or you're going to get 3 on the right. Keep that ball in that dark blue zone throughout the entire telecast.
Let's meet our bowlers here today.
The number 4 seed has 19 PBA Tour titles. From Double Oak, Texas, give it up for Chris Barnes.
Well, Chris Barnes must be drinking out of Norm Duke's fountain, but he's proving that age is just a number. He'll turn 50 at the end of the month. Today, he looks for title number 20, and remember, just 2 weeks ago, finished 3rd.
'88th career TV singles appearance for the 4 seed Chris Barnes as he takes on Tommy Jones. Away we go from Jonesboro. Left lane to start for Barnes. That's him back.
Boy, he bowled so great a couple weeks ago until he lost that right lane. And then, of course, what Tommy Jones did.
South Carolina, Tommy Jones.
2 weeks ago, Tommy was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he put on a Hall of Fame performance, shooting 300 in the title match. Oh, in case you missed it, well, here's all 12 shots. That was the one that won it. Here comes the 10th frame. One more for perfection. Bingo! 300 for Tommy Jones. He's back, and he's proving he's not content. Today, he looks to add another victory to his Hall of Fame career.
Against his great friend, RP, we saw Tommy holding up the 2-0. He got to 20 titles first. Knocked off Chris Barnes, 190-169 semis at the USBC Training Center in Arlington 2 weeks ago. They meet again in Jonesboro today. Right lane, Jones. Oh, 10 in the paint. Hey, perfect shot in the 1-3 pocket.
Started with 60. We did have a PTQ, which is a pre-tournament qualifier. 14 games of qualifying cut to the top 16, and then 16 round-robin match games. The last game being a position round. Chris Barnes was in second going into position round and fell all the way to fourth.
Jones, left lane, yeah, let's go! A great start. So that's 14 straight strikes dating back to Arlington, right? Yeah, on TV.
That's a good point. How many did he have the game before that? I wonder if he struck out.
Yeah, the semis was close. It was 190-169.
Yeah, but I mean, if he would have struck maybe on his fill shot, now it's 13.
That's
15 in a row. This guy may never stop striking. Both players using urethane on the right lane and pretty heavy rolling equipment on the left lane. Left lane extremely slick.
Big start for our two Hall of Famers here today in Arkansas.
Yeah, listen, I have to bring up a point about Chris Barnes. So we always talk about Sean Rash being the only player to have ever bowled 2 300 games in PBA competition on television, right?
Right.
Well, Barnes did it. He had 300 on Shark in Vegas in 2012, and in 2015, he did it the Japan Cup, which was on television and counted as a title.
Oh, baby. We're off to a great start here. Arkansas today. Wow. All 10 back in the pit for Chris Barnes.
Beautiful shot here by Chris, and you can see just about mirrored the last shot he threw. You can already see the ball track breaking down between second and third arrow on that left lane.
Third ever 300 game to win a title. PBA Tour history, Jones, when he beat Darren Tang in Arlington 2 weeks ago. Right lane. We're seeing some bowling here today. Oh, boy. 6 up, 6 down, RP.
Well, he hasn't missed on television in like 2 weeks. Right?
On fire. And he said, look, last week in Shawnee, Oklahoma, he was burned out after the Hall of Fame induction and then the win. It was 300 game in the championship match. Very tough to rebound, get yourself up physically, emotionally the next week on tour. But, hey, 2 out of 3 weeks, these guys are on TV. Off to a tremendous start here.
Yeah, he said he was totally gassed. Like last week, it was just all he could do to just go through the motions.
True pro, they're moving on, though. Back into the lights today. That's a touch high. And a 6-pin count with a double wood there.
Nice effort.
3, 6, 9, 10.
Well, definitely left the target at the arrows, and it doesn't take much on that left lane. And Tommy pays for it now with the 3, 6, 9, 10. The 3, 6, 9, 10, and the problem is that back pin, that 9 pin, trying to cover it with the bowling ball. Players will try to hook it into that spare and get the bowling ball to cover that back pin.
Not easy, but converted by Jones. Saw the tour average. Knocking down that spare and gets his mark. And we're back to Barnes.
Talking with DJ Archer, who's standing up with us here in the booth, who competed this week. I asked him, I said, pretty tough spare this week, huh? And he goes, oh yeah. He says another inch to the right, he could miss all of them.
19 titles. Looking for number 20 today to catch his buddy Tommy Jones. Looking for 4 in a row. 10-pin. No messenger.
Should have re-racked that one.
Single pin spare conversion coming up for Chris Barnes.
And Barnes within a half an inch of his last shot on that lane. So, again, just making great shots. And we saw him do that a couple weeks ago. I think the big question for me as each match progresses is how much transition the lanes are going to go through.
10-pin, no worries for Chris Barnes. Randy mentioned he turns 50 later in the month. We asked him yesterday, what do you think about the PBA 50 Tour? He said, I'm thinking about winning on the Go Bowling PBA Tour right now. Feels at the top of his game, feels healthy. Feels like he's 40. He said it was yesterday.
Yeah. Honey Badger, extreme solid on the left lane, Booyah on the right lane.
As healthy as he's been in a while, maybe.
I missed the other ball. I couldn't see the graphic, sorry.
That's good news for Barnes and bad news for the rest of the tour. 10-pin stands.
Ordnance solid is the ball he's using on the left. And back-to-back soft 10s for Barnes. And with a spare, he'll maintain a 2-pin lead. And we're almost halfway through match number 1. So these two patterns, 12 feet different, 12 feet different in length. And you can see just how much different they have to play the two lanes.
One of 6 PBA Tour events with a dual pattern format. As we talked about last week, first time I ever called dual oil patterns. I love it. The challenge is tremendous. And for Sean Rash to climb the ladder last week on 2 oil patterns, to me, extraordinary.
Well, he had a lot of things go right for him. There was only 2 right-handers on that telecast. Tommy Jones Vapor Zone Hybrid on the left, purple urethane on the right. Again, the popular choice, at least early on in the right lane for all the players, was urethane. Shot there. And getting back to Sean Rash last week, let me not discount the fact that he executed brilliantly, but he had a lot less traffic, and so the lanes held up a lot better for him, a lot longer for him. And that's not going to be the case today. These lanes these oil patterns are going to get blown apart. I think the right lane's going to be okay, and I think the players are going to favor that right lane, but I'm real curious to see what happens with that left lane. And the reason why, it's longer, it's slicker, and the players have to use stronger equipment on that left lane.
Shark left, 48 feet. Viper right, 36 feet.
Left lane
For Tommy Jones. 4-pin.
He liked it.
Oh, that was so good.
He liked it. Pretty good shot there. Just inside of third arrow. Right about 18th board. Going out to about 12. It's pretty tight, especially when you're playing the middle part of the lane.
Six frame. Got his mark. Tommy told us a couple weeks ago in Arlington, it's a sports moment you've seen. Fortunate to live it, the 300 game to win it. He beat Barnes a couple weeks ago in Texas, trying to do the same thing. Repeat the feat in Arkansas today. This week in Jonesboro, Tom Doherty, Sean Rash, who won last week in Shawnee, finished in 7th place. Another good showing for Darren Tang.
Yeah, Josh Blanchard there, Tom Doherty finishing 6th. Arturo Quintero, he led around. And there's Thomas Larson and Ronnie Russell with his new ball company making it to match play. Congrats.
Barnes by 2. You see the max scores. Second half, match 1. What Tremendous head-to-head. Couple Hall of Famers. Barnes strikes in the right lane. Back to Kimberly.
Well, guys, last year both Chris and Tommy struggled with back problems, and Tommy even took 2 months off because of it. But yesterday, both guys told me that they're feeling the best that they have in years, and the evidence of that is that each of them have made 2 out of the 3 last shows. So for these 2 veterans, there is no worries about injuries. They just have to figure out these dual oil patterns.
Feeling healthy, feeling good, Kimberly. Right now, maybe the best they've felt in many years. They both told us yesterday in our pre-match interviews. Clearly top of the games. Left lane, all 10 back in the pit for Chris Barnes.
Hey, Dave, I'll be right back. I got to go get some coffee to go with that sweet roll. Beautiful 2 shots back-to-back by Chris Barnes. Watch him just keep his hand right up the back to get this bowling ball to read because there's no friction on that left lane. And any friction there is, it's going to be in the front part of the lane.
So back to Jones. Works on a spare, 7th frame. Down by 12 pins. Jones, the strike. Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure you're watching before kickoff for a pregame show you do not want to miss. Demi Lovato, DJ Khaled, Yolanda Adams, Dan and Shay, and Pitbull. It's all before kickoff. Don't miss the Fox Super Bowl pregame show. Coverage begins tomorrow at 1 Eastern on Fox. Super Bowl 54. I got the Chiefs in a close one.
I do too. I can't wait for all those pregame shows and stuff, though. And the commercials. Love it. Not to mention the game.
31-28, Kansas City. Remember that.
31-28.
Jones left lane. 10 pins, stands, and a good shot.
Well, it was a great shot. He 4-pinned the last time on that lane, and he probably made another little move there, and the ball just skidded for about 55 feet, and that's why he left the ring in 10, but it wasn't because of lack of execution. This was a beautiful shot. Tommy Jones has failed to strike on the left lane the last 3 shots he's thrown over there, and guess what lane he has to finish the match on?
That one. 10-pin cross lane, and takes care of it. He talked to us yesterday about that great moment, the 300 game. They said Derek Jeter recently inducted to Baseball Hall of Fame. Jason Belmonte waits in match 2. Mariano Rivera, great Yankees, leaving their baseball careers en route to the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame and still competing at a high level. He said, look, in our sport, it's so unique. What a great opportunity to still be out there. It's not done yet. Neither is Chris Barnes, fellow Hall of Famer. 10 pin.
Yeah, he knocked down 9.5 that time. And again, it's another soft 10 on the right lane. But that's all right because right now he's got the lead and it's his to give away. I mean, Tommy Jones struggling on that left lane. Max score for TJ 236 and max score for Chris Barnes 247 if he converts this 10 pin.
Which he does.
You know, you talked about the back issue with Chris. Chris had back surgery. And then not long after that, actually this was sometime last year, he suffered a partial torn labrum in his hip. So that was back in October of 2009, last year. And so he kind of rehabbed that. And, you know, like I told the guys that have had these injuries, that have had surgeries, rehab never ends once you have surgery. It's lifelong.
Match play, head-to-head result. Foundation frame up 11. Left lane, all 10 back.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ball roll is the difference right now on that left lane. And Chris's ball motion isn't all that much different than Tommy Jones's, but Chris is able to get that 6 to kick the 10 out. You can see the zone, the area of play is almost identical for both players. But watch the 6th, just slaps the 10 silly.
Maintains the lead. Max scores, there you see it.
Tommy needs to strike out to put the pressure on Barnes.
His ninth frame. That comes in high 4-pin stands.
That was bad. That wasn't very good.
That was a pull left, and you heard Tommy say it.
Bad shots. Not a good shot.
You can see the tracer there was definitely inside of target at the arrows. He's hoping to trip that 4-pin. It didn't happen.
He knows he missed an opportunity.
Come on, one time.
Still down by a dozen pins here into the 10th frame.
Well, he can give Chris Barnes something to think about if he does strike out. Chris is working on a strike, so that's a big advantage for Chris going into the 10th frame. Right now, Tommy Jones is just thinking, all right, 3 here, anything can happen.
That's one here, gets one. And begins the process of creating some pressure.
Sorry, Dave. Tommy Jones, a winner here in 2016 when he climbed the ladder and beat our tournament leader, Kyle Troup. And that was in a extra frame / flow bowling event. Won $100,000. That gets him at 220. Barnes is at 227. Barnes needs any mark and decent count. And we always talk about the best kind of mark when you need one is a strike. Chris Barnes, strike first ball, it's over. And I think this is the more predictable of the 2 lanes. A couple of soft 10s, the last couple shots for Chris on this right lane. I think he's going to be fine.
Mark will do it. Chris Barnes has a 10-pin standing.
Wow. A lot of 10 pins for Barnes on that right lane. He has to convert. He needs a spare and 4. That was a great shot. Ring 10 after the 2 softies on that right lane. Comes back with that, but he has to cover here.
First things first. Oh, 10-pin.
Well done.
He's got that. One step closer
A little further away than
to
others.
beating his great friend and fellow Hall of Famer, Tommy Jones.
Sweat the 9.
Yeah.
You owe me dinner. It's the way I see it.
After 2 weeks ago, huh?
Needs 4. Stay behind the foul line, keep it on the lane. Should be fine, right?
That should do it. He'll take 9. He'll take the win. A couple weeks ago, Tommy Jones, first to 20 titles. The Hall of Fame weekend, a 300 game. But Chris Barnes, with some fans here in Jonesboro, knocks off his good buddy Tommy Jones here today. Next up, Jason Belmonte. The two-hander from down under. Superstar, the 5-time Player of the Year, is next for Barnes. Never too early to talk PBA playoffs. Players battling for position week to week on tour to earn points, with the top 24 advancing to the season-ending PBA playoffs bracket. $100,000 first prize, top 8 Randy earn points, first round buys in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the points that you see are minimum points that the players on the telecast today will earn. And you see Don Barrett currently in 24th, right behind him, Osku, Palermo, and Bill O'Neill.
All the majors are coming up. We talked about it top of the broadcast, RP. TOC on Fox next week, 5 Eastern. That's Sunday. And you know I'll be in the call on February 15th for the Players' Championship in Ohio as well. U.S. Open on Fox this year.
Hey, they don't call it Big February for nothing.
Kimberly with Belmonte.
Thanks, guys. So, Jason, you seem to find your stride in week 3. You're coming as the number 3 seed today. So, how did you figure out these lanes to get here?
Yeah,
I really felt like it was a pretty grind fest for everybody. Because you're playing on two different oil patterns, you could easily find your shape on one lane and not the other, and that can really decrease your score. So the idea was, when you had it, you took advantage of it, and if you didn't, you found a way to get to 200.
Well, we're coming into a huge month of major championships coming up. Are you looking forward to them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, major February, we call it out here. It's just jam-packed. It's going to be awesome on Fox. Hopefully I can bowl well, make a few appearances, and get some strikes for the Australian bushfires.
All right, well, good luck to you today.
Thank you.
First TV appearance of the season for Jason Belmonte. Head-to-head with a Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. What a match. Coming your way next on FS1. The on-lane graphics you see in today's show, including the on-lane ball tracer. They're brought to you courtesy of Clutch Bowling. Barnes knocks off Jones, 226-220. Setting up a tremendous match, too. Belmonte and Barnes. Future Hall of Famer against a current Hall of Famer.
The number 3 seed is the reigning PBA Player of the Year. From Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Jason Belmonte.
Well, Jason Belmonte's game is shaping into form, and it couldn't happen at a more perfect time with the major championships right around the corner. The winningest player in major championship history looks for his 23rd win today.
Now break a tie with the Medford Meteor. Legendary Marshall Holman takes sole possession of 11th place all-time. The PBA Tour history victories. Brian Voss next with 25. Is this the day for Belmont?
I don't know, but anytime you can mention the Medford Meteor and Marshall Holman on a telecast, it's always a good day.
Especially for me.
Oh, man.
Whoa!
Did you see that ball wiggle? And look how much deeper he is at the arrows. Well, check this out. This ball looks like it's trying to grab the lane, and it looks like the location's pretty good. And then all of a sudden, it falls off the cliff and scoots another foot or two, coming in late, leaving the 210.
210 split. Tough one for Belmo right off the hop, and he'll just take the 2 and leave the 10. It's an open frame to begin things for our 3 seed today here in Jonesboro. What a career for Barnes. So happy to be relevant again, as he told us yesterday. 2 shows, first 3 weeks, right lane, bingo.
And talked to Chris's tour rep, who's helping out this week, Sean Ryan. And Sean said, sent me a text during the break saying that they hit this urethane bowling ball with a little bit more surface. Take a look at Chris Barnes. A little late in the swing as compared to the new power game, but just beautiful lines and angles. And then, you know, the one thing that him, Tommy Jones, and A.J. Johnson, who you'll see in the next match, have in common is that they all have very strong lower bodies. I mean, you know, Belmonte does as well, so does Kyle. And I'm talking just strictly the guys that are using their thumb on today's telecast. Very strong lower body. They use their legs really well. Really good athletes, too. Chris Barnes, basketball player back in the day.
A good one growing up in Topeka, Kansas. Yeah, really good player.
Tommy Jones, a baseball player.
Yep. The 7-pin to Chris Barnes. He's happy with that, obviously. I met my beautiful wife, Tess, said. Bravo.
Yeah, in Medford.
Medford, Oregon.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
It all started there. It all comes back to bowling for me.
I introduced it to you. You and your wife owe it all to me.
We do. Thanks, man.
All right, that was a joke. I didn't introduce you. 5-time Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year. Won it again last year. Just a dominant performance last year. Led the money list by almost $100 grand.
How about that? Tops an average again. And looking good in that right lane with all 10 back.
Yeah, he's got to figure out the left lane. You know, we talked with him. He told us
The left lane has been the problem lane for me all week. He says he feels like he has the berries on the right lane, but the left lane is just a little tricky. Just to give you a comparison between the way he's playing as we take a look at his arsenal. Phase 2 on the left lane, pitch black on the right. Chris Barnes is 17 at the arrows on the left lane. Belmonte's 22, meaning 5 boards left, so a good 5 inches left.
No, wrong lane. Wrong lane.
Re-rack.
Sorry, Pete, I wasn't asking for a re-rack. Yeah.
Just right a second arrow on the right lane. And then on the left lane, you can see where that ball track is. It's getting ever so close to the middle arrow. And again, the difference in the 2 oil patterns, 12 feet in length.
He told us in the 30 games he bowled, maybe 3-4 he felt comfortable total on the left lane. Dual lane pattern here in Jonesboro. Here's the messenger cross deck. That scout took out number 10. Down it goes. Look at that. Gets Belmo going in the right direction.
Yeah, this was a little Aussie filth as the head pin comes screaming across and takes out the 10 pin and sends the 10 pin to the blue tent.
So trying to survive on the left, excel on the right. Is that going to be enough to beat Chris Barnes today? That's the question here in match 2. Third frame, right lane, works on a spare. 10 in the pit for Barnes.
Well, Belmonte, the higher seed, has chosen to finish the match on the right lane, which he feels is the better of the 2 patterns for him. Barnes will finish on the left lane. Chris has looked solid on both lanes. He's just able to do so much manipulating with his hand and wrist, grip pressure, and what he can do at release.
Keeps it going on the left.
Don't need him.
60 feet to success for Chris Barnes. Looking good, feeling good.
He likes this one. Here we go. He knew it. The players know when it leaves their hand if it's got a pretty good chance or not. And boy, we've seen players sometimes with the ball halfway down the lane turn their back on it and they just know. And back when I was a full-time player, the feel of the ball coming out of your hand never lied.
Numbers this week for Belmo. Works on a strike here. Chance for the turkey to go just down by 1. Fourth frame. It's good lane. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Belmo gets it done.
We have a great crowd here in Jonesboro. I'm waiting for them to start chanting Ozzy, 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 oi, oi, oi every time Belmo strikes, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. What a beautiful shot there by Jason Belmonte to stay within 1 of Chris Barnes.
He told us yesterday he's hungrier than ever. And yes, the goal is to become the GOAT. Best ever to lace up bowling shoes and compete in this great sport. Left lane. Whoa, and 10 pin.
There was that little wiggle again down lane, and it looks like he's moved just a little bit left off of the first shot that he threw. Remember when he got it to that little spot down lane and wiggled. This one does the same thing, yet it still gets to the pocket. But it scoots that extra half a foot right there. You saw it scoot or skate just a pinch longer, and that's why he left that ring 10.
Could have taken the lead there. Cross lane, single pin spare. Got that. On tour, it's converted 95% of the time. That's pretty much a gimme for guys at this level. Great match here in Jonesboro. Biggest names in the game the last 15 years. In the first 2 matches. Faced off his good buddy TJ in match number 1. His brain to go up by 12. He'll do it. Trip 4. Down goes Barnes. Up a dozen.
Barnes and Belmo playing the right lane almost identical to one another. The big difference is that left lane. Right now, Barnes is getting the better of that. Keep in mind the open frame in the first by Jason Belmonte, but again, another great touch shot by Chris Barnes.
Looks for the four-bagger. Up by 22. Yeah.
Great break by Chris Barnes. That trip forward now gives him a four-bagger. He's in complete control halfway through this match against the world's greatest, Jason Belmonte. Lots more to come.
Four-bagger, Chris Barnes. And a lead by 22. And with a 5-time PBA Tour Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, are the 3 seed. He talked about being hungrier than ever, having such desire to keep up the excellence. Well, here's a chance. First show of the year for Belmo. Right lane, resuming action. Third to the channel. Whoa. Look out.
Whoa, okay.
Well, that was definitely wide right. And I think Jason thinks or feels that it should hook from there, and that ball never did. 2-4-8-10.
Okay.
Coming right at us. Gets out to that 2-inch line. Remember, 39 boards on the lane. They're only an inch wide. 2-4-8-10. Couldn't have happened at a worse time. He's going to just hook the ball into this 2-4. Throw that 2-pin over into that 10.
Tough conversion. Less than 9%. On tour, do it. Belmo does it. What a spare for Jason Belmonte.
Well, that could be a game changer right there. He avoids the open frame. He does lose some count. But talk about making a tough one when you need to. Beautiful split conversion on the 2-4-8-10 by Jason Belmonte.
Big pickup, but still down a bunch. Match play head-to-head. And you see the all-time TV final record with these two greats. All even for now. Left lane, Belmo. Yes. 10 back. Pins have no chance. And he creates an interesting scenario.
Well, that was almost a must-strike situation for me. Chris Barnes having that 26-pin lead, getting up into the 7th frame. I think Jason Belmonte basically said to himself, right, it's time to strike out. Otherwise, I'll be going home early. Now, Chris Barnes, nothing Jason can do about what Chris is doing. And right now, Chris is doing his thing.
Looking for the 5-bagger. 36-pin lead. Right lane for the Hall of Famer.
Beautiful.
1-3, pocket all 10 back.
We'll take a look what these two players are doing on that right lane. You can see that they're playing them almost identical in terms of the lines, but the big differences are right here. RPMs and ball speed. 100 more revolutions for Jason Belmonte than Chris Barnes, but Barnes is throwing it 2 miles an hour slower. That's how they're able to mirror one another on the right lane.
Re-rack for Barnes here, Randy. Up 36.
You know, he did the same thing a couple of weeks ago and then gets into that third match or the semifinal match against Tommy Jones, and the lanes just fell apart. He lost the right lane, missed a couple of spares.
Looks for the 6-bagger. Up 46, 4-pin instead stands for Chris Barnes.
And that's okay because 9 spare at this juncture works. No matter what Belmonte does, if Chris converts the 4-pin, he can't be shut out. Chris is just handling his business nicely. And kind of amazing that this guy's going to be 50 years old at the end of the month. I got him something for his birthday. Did you get him anything?
I'm about to. I mean, 50's big.
A little bit.
Fountain of Youth here in Jonesboro. I mean, Norm Duke won here last year. Chris
54.
Barnes, right? Chris Barnes now trying to climb the ladder. Norm won here on a dual pattern event.
So bummed out not to see Norm this week.
Yeah, he's still nursing that leg injury, or that thigh injury.
Suffered in the Hall of Fame Classic in Arlington to begin the season. But I think Norm's always in our thoughts, right?
Always.
We'll talk about Norm in a few moments here. 7-10.
That pin is actually hanging off the edge of the lane there on the left. Yeah, that's a crappy break.
Defying physics.
Check this out. Now this ball was definitely left of the last shot where he left at 2-4-8-10, and then just throws nothing but wood at the 7, and that stubborn 7-pin doesn't go.
Belmo can't believe it.
Even the commissioner, Tom Clark, was shaking his head back there. Only 3 times has it been converted.
1991. Man, I want to see one of these. Arizona, gesting. 10-pin.
And that won't count because
nope, channel 4.
The ball left the playing field. And now Jason Belmonte is all but finished here in Jonesboro.
Wow. Chris Barnes watches on the bench and sees the lead expand to 49 pins. So it appears Belmo will be denied his 23rd title. There's a strike. His 66th career television appearance coming today here in Jonesboro.
Well, you know, I think you have to mention all the greatness that he's doing for the Australian fires. And, you know, over 15 million acres have been burned there. 1 billion animals have died. He said that his state is at a level 6 water restriction. It starts at level 1.
Yeah, New South Wales.
Chris Barnes changes to what I believe is a reactive ball. Moves in, and he's just checking the waters now. This match is in hand. He's in the 230s by virtue of that 5-bagger he threw. Best for Belmonte, 210.
Great position to be in.
And that's the right thing to do. Chris, listen, Chris is a technician. And not only is he super physically talented, he's a pretty smart guy. And he knows when it's time to test the waters and when it's time to just stay with what you have.
He told us yesterday how much he likes the dual lane pattern because it brings out the best in a player like that who is so technical and such
terrible luck.
A great thinker on the lanes. Tremendous bowling IQ for Chris Barnes, and a tremendous effort today against Jason Belmonte. 5-time player of the year. Well, he's done for now. Johnson is next. Looking for his first career PBA Tour title. AJ Barnes on the way. Welcome back to Jonesboro, Week 3 PBA Tour season. Last year, Norm Duke seemed to find the fountain of youth. He was here in Jonesboro with a crafty veteran won his 40th career title at the age of 54. Just another highlight in a storied career for Norm Duke. That's Norm's career impact on the PBA. That is the subject of today's Go Bowling Presents Pressing Questions with Kimberly Presley.
What is your favorite thing about Norm Duke?
He is, I would say, the greatest showman that our sport's ever seen. It's amazing watching him bowl and watching him interact with the crowd, especially on TV shows.
His attention to just being focused, it's almost scary. I love watching him operate. I mean, he's a precision artist on the lanes. He does a bunch of different things, and he does them all really well.
There's so many good things about Norm. You know, as a competitor, I love his focus and just, you know, he's in his own world when he bowls. And then off the lanes, he's just such a funny guy. You know, he's always got stories.
I've sat with him many times, heard many stories, and I have yet to hear the same one twice. That's why he's one of my favorite humans.
He's just a genuine guy. He really is. I can't remember how old I was. I want to say probably 7, 8, 9 years old. He actually got on a step stool to take a picture with me. And I was like, dude, you're like, he's like, no, you're tall. He goes, I'm really short. I'm just going to stand up here, take a picture.
That is so sweet. That's so Norm Duke.
Yeah.
I love Norm. I mean, everything about him is great.
You know, just really makes you be in a good mood all the time around Norm.
I just love hanging out around him. He's the best.
I've had several years around Norm now, and it's just, it's amazing. He's definitely one of my favorite people in the world.
Great stuff, Kimberly. We miss you, Norm. Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah, we sure do. I got a great Norm Duke story. Did I tell you the time where he was filling up with gas, went in to pay, came out, and drove off with the nozzle still in the gas tank?
Love it.
True story.
Love it. Step ladder bracket. Kyle Troup, our top seed. He's a showman, too. A.J. Johnson, Barnes, our next match.
The number 2 seed is looking for his first PBA Tour career title. From Oswego, Illinois, A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Johnson has a powerhouse of a bowling game. This former high school football standout looks to avoid the rush and quarterback his way to his first title today.
He was a pocket passer, he told us yesterday, in high school. Not very mobile, but really loved to play quarterback. Also participated in high school football special teams. He thinks the 49ers will win Super Bowl 54 tomorrow. 27-17, that's his prediction. We'll see you tomorrow night on Fox, 6:30 Super Sunday. Johnson started left lane. All 10 back.
He's got a couple of second place finishes, does Johnson. I remember when he was an amateur and he led the USBC Masters in Green Bay. Lost to Jason Belmonte.
2015. Lost to Belmo that day, 202-157. Now against the Hall of Famer. Right lane for Barnes. He's struck on that lane, Randy, 7 of 12 times so far.
Well, the right lane is, I think, the favorite for most of the players, but Barnes hitting both lanes. Higher seed player has chose to finish on the right lane in every match thus far. Chris, one win away for bowling for the title. Remember 2 weeks ago, this was the game that got him with the transition, the lanes changing.
Lost in Arlington, trying to change the story here and flip the script in Jonesboro.
Shim to win. Shim to win.
He's getting his bowling ball to push through the front part of the lane on that left lane and keeping it nice and tight to the pocket. Another beauty there. This guy Barnes could beat you with a marble.
It's Barnes with an early 10-pin lead. A.J. Johnson's going in the second frame.
Looks for his first title. Used to watch us back in the day, Randy told us yesterday. Come down, little guy, ask his dad, is Tommy Jones on TV? Dad said maybe that day no, he'd go back upstairs. Didn't want to watch.
Waiting for a pin to be cleared down lane.
Flow Bowling, exclusive home of the PBA's Extra Frame, and features live streaming of all Go Bowling PBA Tour and PBA 50 Tour events. All 10 back.
Well, he's not using urethane on that right lane. You can tell just by how much stronger that reaction was.
Go back to Kimberly.
So, guys, the players were all asked who's the best current player without a PBA title, and the majority of them said it's A.J. Johnson. And when A.J. was asked the exact same question, he said, me, I am. So, Randy, Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I mean, I think that AJ should have won a long time ago. I think that he'll be the first to tell you that he's underachieved a bit.
Maybe this is his day. And there's a big strike in the left lane. He is pumped.
I remember watching A.J. Johnson at a junior gold tournament when he was 15, and I said to myself, this is going to be the next superstar on the PBA Tour. He got that one way left. Well, when I say way left, a couple inches for a pro, and that ball actually held its line and struck, and that's what he got so excited about. But, you know, I remember watching A.J. as a kid, and then growing up, and then turning professional, and you know, going through the college ranks, and he was a world beater back then. I expected some big things from him.
Chris Barnes thinks better of that on the right lane. Trying to stay perfect to begin the game.
All right. Yep.
Take a look at that layout. You saw that pink pin that's kind of actually sitting in the palm of Chris's hand when he puts his hand in the ball. That's to try to get that ball to start rolling real early.
Right lane. Just enough.
Well, again, you know, you heard Chris talk about Norm Duke and how he's an artist, and that's exactly what Chris Barnes is. You know, a bit analytical at times, but that's just because he's so smart. But I'll tell you what, as far as touch and being able to trick up bowling balls to react a certain way, I'm not sure there's been too many better the last 20 years than Chris Barnes.
Front forward here. Ready? Left lane. Double wood. 2-8.
You can see that was a couple boards to the right based on strike track, that red line. And that's
pretty cool. Move left and miss right.
Yeah, there you go. Chris just told you he moved a little bit left and then he missed target right, and that's like hitting it out of bounds. The good news, there's no 10 pin standing with the 2-8.
Strike streak over. Double wood 2-8 stands for Barnes, covers, and has a spare.
A little.
Good
Just
cover
a little.
for Chris.
Yes, yesterday feels great about the start. 2 of the first 3 weeks on TV with the majors coming up. 3 straight weeks. TOC gets it started next week on Fox. Plenty of runner-ups. Looking for a title. AJ, 10 back. And the front four. AJ Johnson has the first 4 strikes in this match and should hear any player on today's show will approve the game. Everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register for your free game, simply head to gobowling.com, sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. Our PBA commissioner here, Tom Clark. Weather upgrade from Milwaukee.
Anything's a weather upgrade from Milwaukee.
Johnson. Toe. Looking shot, 10 pin stands.
That was so good.
He liked it.
It was a great shot, or a great start for AJ. You know, he got away with the one back in the 3rd, so this is kind of bowling's way of paying it back. He pures that shot and leaves a ring 10 on that same left lane. But a really, really great start for a player that's looking for his first ever title. A lot of pressure on him. 3rd ball company he's been with in the last 3 years.
10 pin, no worries there for AJ. He told us yesterday, career highlight today, it had to be the gold medal for Team USA, playing with Chris Barnes and Tommy Jones. Pretty cool picture he sent us by text yesterday, a celebration with Tommy. After a big moment in Vegas. And here he is looking for an even bigger moment and a first career PBA Tour title. Barnes stands in his way. The 10, down it goes. Staying solid, right lane.
Right lane is still holding up. Left lane is actually doing a lot better than I thought it would be, and I think that's because of the way Chris Barnes is playing that left lane. He's staying far enough to the right and really building up a nice little path, if you will, nice little friction zone in between that third and fourth arrow. He'd sure like to get to 20. In my opinion, he should already have about 26 or 28 titles.
Great career.
Yes! There you go.
There's a big strike.
One pin match
for
now.
Chris Barnes. One pin separates these two. So much on the line, Randy, today here in Arkansas.
We've got a battle on our hands here in the semifinal match. Chris Barnes will not let go. He won't go quietly. Lots more to come here in Jonesboro.
Johnson Barnes, one pin differential. A.J. Johnson, Chicagoland, going for his first career PBA Tour title. Chris Barnes would love number 20 to add to his Hall of Fame resume.
Right lane is Venom Recoil. Left lane, Venom Shock Pearl. A lot of venom going on in AJ's arsenal.
6 frame here. Partner works on a spare. Up by 1. Out of the commercial break. How will the 2 seed respond? Let's see. Right lane. Oh, 10 back. Big shot.
Man, he split the 8-9 in half on that shot. But here's what I want to show you, the similarities between our 3 players that are using their thumb on today's telecast, and something you folks can learn and do at home to make you a better bowler. Check out the open hand at the top of their backswings. You see where their hands are, how open they are? What this does is it allows the players to get their hand to the inside part of the bowling ball at the release point to create all that power.
Great look.
I wanted you to see that highlight to see if it looked better. So, okay.
Explains a lot. How powerful they are. Speaking of power, all 10 back again. AJ is pumped. He wants a title today here in Jonesboro in the worst way.
He got it back from no man's land on that shot, and I think, again, that's because of where Chris Barnes is camped out on that left lane.
Let's go! I'm back, baby!
Barnes trailing by 11, 7th frame.
Looks for the turkey here. Bowl within 1. Right lane for Barnes. Oh, yeah! Oh, yes, again. We got ourselves a match here, RP.
I mean, he's just so good. And he's really keeping it together, executing well, making the shots that he needs to make. And
over there again.
you know, the difference right now is just that 2-8 that he left on the left lane in the 4th frame.
Coming up next, top welterweight. Your Dennis Ugas will face off with Mike Dallas Jr. 12-round showdown. All the hard-hitting action begins next on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
I like Ugas.
Boxing coming your way. Can't wait. Got our own bout here in match number 3. Barnes-Johnson. Chris Barnes looks for the 4-bagger and the lead. Yeah!
Exactly what he has to do is get the...
back. I'm still here.
Wow.
We're talking a little bit, aren't we here? We're talking it up.
Yeah, Chris isn't afraid to give it right back to you.
You're back. I'm still here. Right. Nobody's going anywhere.
Nobody's going anywhere.
4 straight for Barnes and the lead. Now Johnson looks for the turkey in the 8th. Yes! Back and forth we go. Johnson up 1.
All right, hey, Brett Spengler, you're the tour consultant for Motive. What advice did you give A.J. Johnson going into this match?
I'm not hearing you, Randy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's loud down there, I know. What
is.
advice did you give A.J. coming into this match?
You know what he told me? He just said, I really want this today. And I said, you know, want can be dangerous. We're just going to process what we're seeing, and we're going to make one shot at a time. And if it's your time, we're just going to walk through that open door.
Thanks for your time, Brett.
Let's see if it's his time. Foundation frame. That's a high shot. 3, 6,
Where did
10.
that come from?
You know, he's gotten away with a couple of shots on that lane, a little left and a little right. Now, all of a sudden, I think he liked that one out of his hand, but you could see it check a little early and goes right through the nose, leaving the 3, 6, 10. And, well, it happens at the most inconvenient time. Look out.
Covers. Has the mark.
Where did that come from?
And he's really frustrated.
Barnes up by 2 now, can extend his lead to 12 with a strike here in the ninth. Max score for Chris Barnes, 278. Max score for A.J. Johnson is 256. Chris Barnes said, well, you're back. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And right now, Chris Barnes can get up in the 9th and 10th and slam the door on A.J. Johnson.
Right frame to go up by 12. Yes, indeed.
I mean, he's just like cyborging it right now, right? Like straight cyborging it. He's just machine. Just like duplication, shot after shot.
Such a different look on the right lane. Nice pair. And strike to shut out A.J. Johnson. That's what he needs to win in the semis and to face Troup. Here's the left lane.
Got a chance.
Got a chance. Got a strike, Chris Barnes. You better believe it. Up 22.
Well, I guess who's going to bowl for the title against Troup? This guy, Chris Barnes. Masterful today.
It's official. Chris Barnes continues to climb the ladder. Last week it was Sean Rash all the way to the top for the title. Chris Barnes continues to beat great bowlers here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. He knocks off A.J. Johnson, the 2 seed, who's left the pro with a throw. Colorful, charismatic, one of a kind. It's Kyle Troup. 267, 256. Barnes over Johnson. 9 strikes for CB. 5 in the right lane, 4 on the left. He'll face Kyle Troup next. One of our new features this season on the PBA Tour on Fox and FS1 is our In the Pocket feature, where each week we get a chance to get a closer look at one of the PBA pros. This week we take a look at one of the more flamboyant players on the PBA Tour. And Chip off the old block. Here's Kyle Troup in the pocket.
So I would definitely say I was born to be a bowler. You know, I grew up as a bowling alley rat, you know, running around, playing games, bowling anytime I could, you know, watching my father compete. But as I got older, that pretty much, you know, told me what I wanted to be growing up. You know, I wanted to be like my father. You know, I've taken after him in different ways, and he's taught me a lot, and, you know, really, that's my drive, to be like my dad, and hopefully win more titles than he did.
All right, Randy, we are getting set for a tremendous championship match. The top seed, Kyle Troup, against the Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. Can't wait, right?
Oh, my God, it's going to be great.
It's coming up. It's the PBA on FS1 from Jonesboro. Set for the championship match from Jonesboro. Troup Barnes head-to-head. This will be fun.
The #1 seed has 3 Go Bowling PBA Tour titles. From Taylorsville, North Carolina, Kyle Troup.
And Kyle Troup dominated this event, only losing 3 games in match play all week. And to say he's confident coming into today, well, that would be an understatement. Check this out. On Tuesday, practice session day, he told his tour reps, I'm winning this week.
And he was right, because he's the #1 seed. He's 1 match away.
Barney's leading off, which means that Chris is going to finish on the right lane, and that's the first time we've seen that throughout the telecast. The higher seed has always finished each match on the right lane.
Chris Barnes. Honoring his alma mater, Wichita State today. 4-pin on a high shot.
And Chris Barnes trying to duplicate Sean Rash's feat from last week, where Sean Rash climbed the ladder.
Wasn't my best effort.
And Sean Rash, also a Wichita State alum.
So many players from that tremendous program. At one time by Gordon Vatican. There's the spare.
My ex-tour roommate was a Wichita State alum, won the U.S. Open 1 year, Justin Roman. One of the best people you'll ever meet.
Kyle Troup, as we talked about with Kimberly just before our first match, honoring the late, great Kobe Bryant. He lost a week ago Sunday. Extraordinary tragedy. Big Laker fan. Kyle Troup, first shot. Whoa.
And maybe that's why he chose to finish on the left lane.
3-6-17.
Three, 6, 7, 10. He's going to try to slide to cut the 3 over into the 7. Using plastic.
It's only made 34% of the time on tour. RP, that was something. Big spare pickup from Kyle Troup.
That'll energize you. You get kicked in the gut, first shot out, leaving that, and then you come right back and make it. And that's what high-level professional athletes do. Kyle Troup, perfect on that big split conversion.
You and I called his last TV title, 2015 Wolf Open, Shawnee, Oklahoma. 2 titles, non-televised events. That's looking good, left lane. Wow, he blisters the rack. All 10 back in the pit.
"28 years of age for Kyle Troup, and we talked about Barnes approaching 50 on February 25th. 10 more years as a professional for Chris, and a lot more wins.
There's Barnes. Oh, such a different look on that right lane. The ball speed. And he...
Then a 9 count once today.
Wow. Red hot right lane. Saw that number a moment ago. Here's the left. There's the strike. Rip 10. Here we go. And he's off to a tremendous start. Now it's on.
It's kind of old school on that left lane, what we used to call fallback, where the ball kind of just pushes to the right for the right-hander and then just kind of sets up right in front of the 1-3 pocket. You don't see a lot of down lane motion, and that's because the old pattern's 48 feet in length on that lane. Remember, the lane's only 60 feet long.
The double. Third frame. Got it. Evens the match. Back to Kimberly.
Well, guys, sadly, Sherry, who is Kyle's mom, is battling bone cancer and is at home watching TV, so she wasn't able to make it to the show. And when I asked Kyle about her, he told me that she's had a lot of bad days lately, and today he wants to give her a good day and a reason to smile.
Well, our thoughts and prayers go out to Sherry and Guppy, obviously, and her continued battle with that awful disease.
Left lane.
That's for you, Mom.
And you can hear the Troup call here in Jonesboro. Guppy wanted to be home with Sherry, so they're watching on TV right now. Back in North Carolina. Oh, 10 back, left lane. Oh, yeah. I mean, personality. This guy's off the charts.
He's quite the colorful character.
Barnes crossing over. Now leaves a 6, almost at a broken strike.
So the first shot that really was errant by Chris Barnes all day, where that ball just hooked at his shoelaces and then went Brooklyn.
Coming up next, Ugas Dallas Jr. PBC on FS1. It's great boxing on the way.
Question mark now for me is, how does that shot affect his next shot on that right lane?
There's the mark. As you might imagine, players at this level very high single pin spare conversion rate with the 6-pin only. A lot of title match experience. Look at that. Left lane.
You see him blow on his fingers. Being a little sarcastic there as we take a look at the proprietors. There's Kelly Stevens, the general manager here, and to his left there's Corinne. His staff does a wonderful job. Hey folks, if you're in the area and you want to get some homemade cookies.
Off the charts, right? I saw
Infamous.
you enjoying.
No, I'm hoarding them over here.
Are you?
This
You're
is
not
my
sharing.
pile. Stay away
Not
from it.
sharing.
Mine.
Understood. Four-bagger possibly for Troup. Yeah. Feeling good, up 21 pins.
Well, that was a big shot because it gives him that 21-pin lead, and he takes advantage of Barnes not throwing the four-bagger. Huge, right out of Barnes' miss in the fourth. Chris comes back with that strike in the fifth, and now Kyle Troup can extend the lead to 31 halfway through the championship match.
Imagine that, 30 minutes into practice before things got going here in Jonesboro. Told everyone around him, ball reps, I'm going to win this thing. Did that ever happen to you in your great career?
Oh, I mean, there was times where I felt during a practice session or after a practice session that I had a good enough look to win. I may have said it once or twice.
En route to the Hall of Fame. Sixth frame, yeah! Another one. 31-pin lead. He's getting this crowd in Jonesboro pumped up.
That's great shot making. That man's hair doesn't look anywhere near as good as that hair, but boy, that's some shot making right there. And all the pressure now back on Chris Barnes. And Chris Barnes' max score now 269. Max score for Kyle Troup 290. Remember last week what Sean Rash did, throwing the last 20 out of 24, 289 the last game, 300 the week before that. Tommy Jones in the title match.
Barnes looks for the double. Pulled it within 21. Got it.
Have to get it there.
That's a big strike.
They're faking it now.
Keeping this really tight.
So now it looks like the right lane's going to be a little finicky for Barnes. We already know the left lane's been that way for him, although he's been masterful on both lanes.
Top seed RP 0-2 so far on TV this year. Darren Tang, of course, the Tommy Jones a 300 game in Arlington.
Hard to beat 300.
Sean Rash last week beat the Ryan Express, Ryan Simonelli.
Hard to beat 289.
But Troup's got the look. Barnes, 7th frame to pull within 11. Yes, sir.
We're not going anywhere.
He's still not going anywhere. Is that a little fun, right?
Well, you know, the playoffs last year in Portland, Maine, these two went at it. Kyle Troup got the better of Chris Barnes.
We're not going anywhere.
Why not from Barney? A little showmanship.
I could give him my pick if he needs it.
I've got one. 7th frame for Troup. Answers! Tap on the 10. Up 21 pins.
See, and I like that emotional reaction from Kyle Troup. See how focused he is right now? It's self-talk. He's talking to himself. He's keeping himself in the moment instead of getting into a verbal battle with Chris Barnes and then losing a little bit of focus, just enough to where you throw an errant shot. Kyle's not doing that.
6 bagger.
It's the most focused I think I've ever seen Kyle.
You make a great point there, Randy. You know Chris Barnes had a little gamesmanship involved with that. Verbal battle. Just a moment ago. Left lane Troup. Feeling it. Feeling good.
You got it.
A double. 7 in a row. On fire. 31 pin lead. Out comes the pick.
I was expecting a lot more picking.
That is just fantastic.
That is one glorious
That is
main.
great sports TV right there.
Coming down the 9th and 10th frame of this match. Another great match.
And dead push just enough. Just enough energy. And the ball reaction catches that pocket. 21-win match. The veteran, the Hall of Famer, against the top seed.
Re-rack here.
Calls for a re-rack.
Chris cannot miss the rest of the game and realistically expect to win this tournament. If he strikes out, he can win this tournament. If he doesn't strike on this ball, I don't think he can win. Right now, Kyle Troup is in the 250s. Chris Barnes is in the 230s. These guys are so good, and they're making a mockery of this oil pattern. They broke him down brilliantly. I was concerned, the players were concerned that the lanes would just turn into a disaster with all the traffic and transition, and it just hasn't happened. Now, Kyle Troup, maybe the biggest shot of his career.
Looks for 8 straight.
What do you call that right there, Dave? Paralyzer 5.
The 5, and down it goes. It hung on. It hung on.
All right, Kyle Troup here in the 10th frame. 9 spare strike. He cannot be shut out. He cannot lose. If he strikes first ball in the 10th, he wins career title number 4. Chris Barnes knows the score, and he knows there's nothing he can do except sit and watch.
Striking 5. Randy, all that's standing between Kyle Troup.
The lane he chose to finish on right here.
And his 4th title. Trying to become the first top seed to win on the PBA Tour this year. Needs this strike left lane. Got it!
Watch the emotion come out of Kyle Troup.
Just needs 5 for a win.
Love you, Mom.
From Onshore. Battling cancer. There's 10. There's a win for Kyle Troup. He's done it in Jonesboro, Arkansas today.
Your mom's gonna fucking love it.
The top seed is tops for the first time on tour this year. Troup, there it is, Randy.
What a day. What a day for Kyle Troup. What a day for the Troup family. It's a special one. Got no idea how hard it is to be the number 1 seed, come in cold, and then bowl 290 to win. Our last 3 weeks, 300, 289, 290 winning scores in the title match. If you like strikes, you like big scores, swipe right, because that's what we're giving you each and every week on the PBA Tour.
I mean, you had a lot of
First TV title since 2015.
This one was
for Troup,
and what happened about 3 times and then stopped somehow.
This one scared me. I was like, what we got going on here?
Yeah.
Chris Barnes
I
climbs
didn't
the
miss
ladder.
much on that 6-span.
Just short.
That struck earlier.
Boy, you got to give Chris a lot of credit. He's going to shoot 260 or can't shoot 269, and that wins 90% of the time out here. Not today. What an exhibition Chris Barnes put on. Amazing. Too much Kyle Troup. It was his day, and like I talked about in the Open, today he was going to make a statement, and he was going to take his career to a new level.
Keep thinking that. There's a few that thought that before. Tommy was one of them.
He beat Jones. He beat Belmonte. He beat Johnson, but he couldn't top the top seed in Kyle Troup. Trophy time.
We got it, baby! Love you, Mom, Dad, Carlo! That's for you, Jonesboro! Oh, you, baby! Oh, we got it! Thank you, Storm, Vice, Bowler X, Coolwick, Team Fish, everybody. This is a special one. Kobe, we all love you. Oh. Pick it out, baby! Let's go pick it out, too! Yeah.
All right, Kyle. So you know what you said at the top of the show? Make no mistake, you are out here to win. But you started off with a 6, and then something switched on you, and it's 11 strikes in a row. What changed?
I thought it was a really good shot to open the match, and I moved my feet just a little bit, changed my angle, and luckily that was the right guess. I matched up really good on both lanes, and hats off to Chris. I knew he was going to have a big game in him. I knew I needed 10 of the best shots of my life, and I feel like I threw just about 10 best of my life.
That was a really great match to watch. And something else that you told me yesterday is that your mom's been having a few bad days lately, and today you wanted to give her a reason to smile. She's at home watching. What do you have to say to her?
I love you, Mom. I know this is going to make you really smile. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to see you soon. Love you. Love you, Gup.
Congratulations on your win.
There we go. Fourth career title. And a day to remember for Kyle Troup, who was brilliant in the one match over the Hall of Famer Chris Barnes. Statement day, I think Randy Peterson for Chris Barnes climbs the ladder.
Oh, what a special
Almost.
win. Thanks, guys. Love all you guys.
Accomplished what Sean Rash did last week in Shawnee, Oklahoma, but ran in to Troup. There it is.
Oh, you want to pick it? Go ahead. There we go.
And it was time to pick it out, wasn't it? For Kyle Troup.
We got it done.
We gotta. You gotta have the pick. That was quite an effort for Kyle Troup.
You don't have enough hair for that. Let's not discount Chris Barnes. He showed us what he still has and what he's still capable of a couple weeks ago. And then to climb the ladder like he did today. He averaged over 250 today and lost, and he lost because a guy shot 290 at him. Chris didn't lose this tournament. He got smoked. He got beat. And he got beat by a guy who starts out believing the 3-6, 7-10 split, and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then he makes it, and then he runs the table. Kyle Troup was just absolutely amazing today, and his shot making was absolutely spectacular.
3 weeks up, 3 weeks down on the Go Bowling PBA Tour. Standard events over for now. 3 weeks in a row. Majors on the way. The Tournament of Champions, Fair Lawn, Ohio. Next week at Sunday on Fox. First major of 2020. And don't forget to join us. Our next telecast, Sunday, 5 Eastern on Fox. Bench the Best, battle it out. the PBA Tournament of Champions, major number 1 from Riviera Lanes in Fair Lawn, Ohio. The new season of the PBA Tour continues next Sunday with a TOC live at 5 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports.